Hi folks, it's George Kovach here down in my cottage. Family just left after an incredible weekend. Anyway, I was looking at sorting out a few things and had this broken fishing rod, and then I was in with my wood chipper and looked down at a branch and said that kind of looks like a bougie, and I said I've been meaning to comment on some of the dialogue regarding the use of the D-Grip. And I know some people are passionate about it and think it has a great role, and I think it potentially does, but with some significant caution here. So what this fishing rod is meant to illustrate, this is the epiglottis, a piece of duct tape, and this is our glottis here. And this is, let's assume that this is the right main stem bronchus, where it becomes narrow to the point that the bougie is going to stop. Now, many people think that the bougie stops at the carina, but it doesn't, right? So it usually heads down the right main stem and will reach an end point at 30 plus or minus 5 centimeters roughly on an adult when the bronchus becomes narrow enough that it won't allow the bougie to pass any further. Now, the real purpose of, again, bougie is, many people say use it all the time because you're getting a smaller caliber weapon, if you will, down the trachea, and you can put your endotracheal tube in afterwards. And that's fine, but again, the classic use is when you don't have a great view and the epiglottis is down like this, or sorry, down like this, and you really can't see much of the glottis, if any of the glottis, and can scoop in underneath it. And yes, you might feel clicks. In the operating room, you might feel clicks. In the cadaver labs, you might feel clicks. But the chances of you feeling clicks when your heart rate is 150 because you're having trouble getting a tube in is extremely low. So the only time I rely on clicks is when I have a partial view of the glottis and I feel clicks. Then I can place it like an endotracheal tube, right? So I've got it in, I feel clicks, I can put my tube in over the bougie, and I'm all good. If I can't see the glottis, I really need to take it down to hold up. And again, hold up is going to occur when it becomes narrow enough that it's not going to allow the bougie to pass. And that's the most reliable endpoint in a difficult laryngoscopy intubation situation. The problem is when you do the D-Grip, and this is a piece of beech, so it bends nicely. This is my D-Grip, and I'm assuming my tube is to here. What this promotes is me using this like an endotracheal tube. In other words, I'm going to put it in, right? I'm then going to unfold, and I'll put my tube in over. And I understand if you're solo that is a useful thing if you don't have somebody to help put the tube over your bougie. The problem is that with this fold in the D-Grip, this will only leave about just under 30 centimeters, depending on your bougie here. And the issue is with that, it promotes just using it like an endotracheal tube, or using and just relying on clicks, because you won't have enough distance here for your distal end of the bougie to get hold up, right? Again, I'm not sure if I'm showing that well on my rod here, but again, if I'm doing it this way with my D-Grip, it's not going to allow me to get the distance I need to get hold up at the end of this fishing rod or in the right main stem bronchus. So it promotes you using it like an endotracheal tube or just a small caliber introducer, as opposed to the way it was designed to be used. right? So beware of the D-grip. The other thing is, too, again, when you unfold this and let it go, your tube is already at this point, right? And that's where you're going to hold up also at the glottic inlet with your with the tube over the bougie. So I'm not a big fan of the D-grip. We'll see if I can do a different version of this when I get home.